And the fisherman went there from time to time to feed him and so on and so forth. One day he went there and met this man. Of course, this is not written here. And then the fisherman went back to his house thinking. And he was thinking about that man that was suffering, and was suffering deeply because of his foolishness, okay, because of his badness. And then spontaneously he started thinking of another man who had suffered and died to expiate the sin of the world. And then he realizes that this suffering, and this is the essence of this chapter, this suffering is not something that is without any reason. This suffering must have a reason. If a God-made man, okay, Jesus, had redeemed the world with suffering, also the suffering of each of us, that man, could become a means of redemption. Okay? And this is one of the first thoughts that are the leading thought of my book. And then, of course, he was gone, understanding that the torment that the crazy man was not only a fire purify him, but also cleanness able to erase all evil deed of other people. Okay? And so he come back to his house. The house was halfway on the hill, okay, and he went back to his house that was already night. Let's see something else, but I don't want to. Unfortunately, I have translated 15 chapters out of 19. Okay, so I hope to finish before the end of this year. Let's see another one. All right, this is another point that is important. There is the story of a white woman that started being a friend of this. The white woman was a rich one, okay? In the sugar, they had a sugar refinery and so on. All that. And this woman, that was Susan was the name, then was sick, and so of course the name of the fisherman is Francois, because of course it must remind St. Francis. And but what I want to mention here is this: Francois went there. Talked to that woman, this was the second time I think, that were talking to that woman, and was so involved in that serious disease of the woman. The woman had a tuberculosis that in those days was lethal, of course, because it was before. And so Francois started crying. And you see, Francois realizes that it had been not so much his word to change, because then Susan was quite relieved. But the essence is this: it was not much his word to change Susan's mood, as what he felt and which his tears had revealed. Okay? And so this is another thing that can connect to, from what I have said about medicine as a mission. Okay? There is something that is worse than suffering, and this is suffering alone, without any other that is around you and that can console you, support you. Of course, only spirituality with the spirit, because we don't have yet a means to cure the terminal cancer. Okay, but the patient with the terminal cancer must have his doctor near before dying. Okay. All right. Let's see something else, and I want to finish. All right, and so we are at the end. We are at the end because I want to answer this the question. Now, what if you die tomorrow? Okay. When you die, usually you suffer. Sometimes not. There are smooth deaths. But when you die, you suffer. And you suffer sometimes deeply. And they have seen, unfortunately, many people that were suffering deeply. All right. There is a very, very frail borderline between suffering as despair and suffering as redemption. Because when you suffer, you can be complete out, okay? And of course, if you, in the future, you will be able to read the book, Susan was in that position, and of course, I don't want to tell you all the story, but Susan said to him, I am desperate, because I see nothing. I see only dark, okay? And I am dying, and I am dying desperately, okay? Okay, but Francois believed that the word of God taught to refuse despair and to get to the suffering as a redemption, okay? And to get to the suffering as a redemption. And this is also what is written at the end of the book, because Francois, of course, was already old and near death. And this philosophy is mentioned again at the end of the book. I don't have the translation because we were not there. But Francois said, before death, I was suffering, but I accept with the suffering, with the joy, which is not something that is very easy, okay? But I accept this suffering with joy, because all that comes from God is a wonderful gift. So life, also suffering, because suffering is the best tool for redemption of all the evil that we have in our soul. We have many is like this, okay? So there is something very, very, very terrible, okay? But this can be cancelled. This can be swept out by suffering, because suffering is the best way for redemption, okay? And so this is, I hope, when I die, to have this in mind. And the last one is this. What would you say to the